Hello, today I'm going to be walking you through a PS3 controller disassembly and cleaning. The only tools that are required to do this disassembly are a Phillips head screwdriver. I use the Phillips number 0 screwdriver from the kit that is linked below. And then I also use some cotton swabs, 99% isopropyl alcohol, which I ended up diluting a little bit because it may have been rubbing off some of the paint on the controller. Not entirely sure about that because I did go back and rub it later, hard with just water, and the blue was still coming off. So I'm not sure if that's the alcohol or if it's just an old controller or dust or something, not really sure. And then I do recommend, if you're going to be working with isopropyl alcohol, I do recommend getting some kind of gloves because it is kind of harsh on your hands. And then I also use compressed air. I'll be fast forwarding through anything that doesn't really need to be explained and slowing down for the parts that kind of need to be explained. So I just finished taking out the screws on the back of the controller, and what we're going to do now is we're going to pull apart the controller, and you want to lift it towards the triggers on the back. You want to pull from the front and lift it towards the triggers on the back and just kind of slide it over those two back triggers. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to move into removing the battery now. What we're going to do is you're going to grab these two little wires that are connected to the battery and to the connector, and you're going to pinch those two little wires together and gently pull out and wiggle them back and forth. And as you do this, what is happening is you're loosening up the connector, so that way we can stick our little fingers in there here in a second and pop it out by that plastic piece. Now, if you have thicker fingers, this might be hard, but I have women fingers, so it's not. I got little fingers, and so those two little arrows, that's a little plastic piece that we're going to stick our nails on, and we're going to pop it back out, and this should unplug pretty easily for you if you loosen it up enough. And boom, there we go. Alright, so now we are getting to the fun part. We're popping off the trigger so we can get to that board that all the buttons connect to. And we have three main connectors here. One is that middle screw, two is that tab, and the other is that tab. I did this backwards. You're going to want to remove the screw first. It makes it way easier, but I didn't, so this is what we have. And so you can see me here. I'm just sticking my thumb in there and I'm pressing down on that little white tab and kind of popping it out, and you'll feel when it's released. And I'm sitting here and I'm pulling on it, and I'm wondering, why is this not popping up and out? It should just release. Why isn't it working? It's because I haven't removed the screw, and now I'm removing the screw. And I left this in so you guys can see that you can be kind of rough with these. Don't go crazy, obviously, but I just want you to know that you don't have to be overly delicate, and sometimes you do gotta pry a little bit. Don't bend the board, don't crack the board, but you can be a little rough with these. I did end up leaving that screw that connected the board to the rest of the controller in there. I couldn't get it out, and I didn't want to pry and crack it or whatever. I'm going to end up having to put it back in there anyway, and it doesn't make that big of a difference. For the next few minutes or so, this is going to be me just walking through how I clean these. I take some cotton swabs, some of that isopropyl alcohol, slap on those gloves, give it a good wiggle, and then I get back in there. What I've found works best is a combination of dry and wet Q-tips to get off the gunk that is inevitably going to be stuck around those edges of the controller.
I wish I had an explanation for the popularity of the man I'm about to introduce, but a gift such as his apparently cannot really be explained, but it can be felt and enjoyed. So why don't we just do that? Let's do it for him, gang.
Yeah. Your girl got a cute face. Her friend got a nice body. They just want to have fun. This is my type of party. 20 bitches in the lobby. There's plenty bitches in the lobby. They all drinking, they smoking. This is my type of party. 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 This my type of party.
I did want to note here that I'm not going to be wiping down this entire board with isopropyl alcohol. All I'm doing is just little areas that I saw were kind of dark or gross looking. I just took it and gently wipe on that board. Do not press hard on that board. Just give it a nice little wipe. Just clean off whatever's there. Our goal is to clean the board, not break it. If you like the music that's been playing in the background of this video, check out the description below for a link to Heretic's channel. Makes a ton of music like this. It is really good. Recommend y'all check it out.
Money give me a bone. My car look like a loner. I got hoes in Arizona. They got a college diploma. And my watch got pneumonia. Your girl got a cute face. Her friend got a nice body. And they just wanna have fun. This my type of party. 20 bitches in the lobby. There's plenty bitches in the lobby. They all drinking, they smoke. This my type of party. This my type of party. This my type of party.
Now look, I know you guys are coming back to this part of the video because you were struggling getting these back on. Me too. That's why I'm about to slow it down and zoom in for y'all. You see that? That little just hook underneath? Boom, press it in, locked into place. That's how a pro does it, baby. As you are reassembling the controller, after you stick back on those back triggers, or whatever point you're at when putting it back together, just press the buttons a little bit, make sure they feel good. You don't want to put everything back together and be like, oh, my L2 doesn't unpress out when I press it in. Just give it a little squeeze, give it a little press, make sure it all feels good. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, we got ourselves the top two triggers. I know it's L1 and R1, but I call them the top two triggers because they are my personal top two triggers. Now this part right here, trust me, the first one, you're gonna struggle. It's not easy. It's not easy being this cool, you know? Owning a console from 20 years ago. Not that easy, all right? You're the coolest guy on the block. So what I am doing here though is I am re-loosening those pop tabs so I can try to get in the L1 and R1. I found that loosening up the board and those tabs and being able to manipulate the buttons and the board itself much easier to get in L1 and R1. Alright, so I got the first one in. Now I'm going to zoom up, show you how easy and fast the second one goes in. I just stick it in there a little bit, give it a little wiggle, give it a little push, boom, that bad boy is in there. I'm telling you guys, first one, pain. Second one, slides right in, no problem. Now what I'm doing is I'm pressing in the controller and I'm screwing in that back screw. Notice how I'm pressing down on the board while I'm screwing in that screw. Just make sure that connection happens. And I'm giving all the buttons a good squeeze, good press, make sure everything feels good before I start putting the rest of this bad boy back together. Alright, so we're plugging back in the battery. putting our finishing touches on this controller, doing our thing, making a little love. Time to put the cover back on. No glove, no love. You know how it is. We're pressing on the buttons, giving it one check and slapping that back cover back on, giving it a press together as we do, and boom! You know how it goes. Never easy out here. Why is it never easy out here? Not a big deal. Left this in so you guys know that this happens. It's okay. Just go ahead and slap that stuff back together. I don't know if I didn't have something seated properly. Could have been from the way I was putting the cover on. I don't really know. Something could have been misaligned just a little bit. Just something being off just a little bit will cause it to not go back together. But don't let that scare you, okay? It's not hard to take this apart, and it's not hard to get it back together. It's just gonna take you some time. And so I got that all reseated properly, and I'm gonna slide it back on, and here we go. And so this, you're gonna feel when it's on right. You know what I mean? It'll just snap back together. You're gonna have to squeeze a little bit. That's why I'm even off camera. I'm giving it a good squeeze to get it all back together. I'm going around, I'm squeezing it. It'll hold together without the screws in it. Now you should put the screws back in it, but you don't really need them. But you should put them in there. This is my first time using this kind of editing style, so if you guys do like it or if you don't like it, drop a comment and let me know why and how I can continue to improve my videos. And if you want just a full, not necessarily unedited, but just long form version of this, where I just take you through step by step and I just talk through it as I do it, it'll be like an hour-ish. Let me know, drop a comment. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this and have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, whatever time it is where you are. Thanks for watching.